Bismillahir-Rahman-Rahim. Thank you, Shabi, for your kind introduction as always. And thank you, panelists who have spoken before me. Almost about more than 50 years ago, I was flying a helicopter on the Karakoram Highway attached to the Chinese People Liberation Army, because the Chinese at that time did not have helicopters. So an LO-3, two of us were attached to them around that thing, and we used to go past the Kunjra Pass. And my interpreter, one harrowing day when there were a lot of casualties because of the road explosions, that used to put powder there to explode the rocks. So we're lifting them to base hospitals along the highway. And I asked him this question. I said, this is a road to nowhere. Why are we doing this? Why are you Chinese being stupid? So this gentleman, Mr. Chang Chungliang, he was the interpreter who actually flew in direct from Beijing University Language College, and that was his first job. He could speak Punjabi fluently, Urdu fluently. And he told me, after looking at me, he said, we Chinese are not stupid, you Pakistanis are stupid. I said, why? He said, you think in terms of 5-10 years, we think of terms of 50-100 years. We will be down to Karachi. There was no Gauzer at that time thinking of this. We'll be down to Karachi. You will still be sitting here. Mr. Chang became the Chinese ambassador to Pakistan in 2003. And he would regularly ring me up every year to ask me who's stupid. Actually, we do not realize, we may be going through doom and gloom, but we are a success story. We are a success story if we can only exploit the great potential that we have. I must tell you that we've talked about the World Economic Forum. And the World Economic Forum, if you look at from the economic side, it is the topmost body that recognizes people. I'm proudly telling you that on 7th November, they're doing Spotlight Pakistan on the Asan mobile account. The Asan mobile account is a World Bank Financial Inclusion and Women Empowerment Program that is regulated by the State Bank and by the Pakistan Telecommunications Authority. And that means that you can, a person without even a bank account can open a bank account in less than 2 minutes on his telephone. From many to many, this has not been done before anywhere in the world. And this Pakistan Amazing Story from 8 to 9 p.m. will be broadcast throughout the world, sponsored by the World Economic Forum. That is a success story. The average age of the people who made that switch is 27, all Pakistanis, all Pakistanis. So, let me tell you that you just have to exploit your potential. We've just heard about, about the tremendous potential that the National Logistics Cell is bringing out by this thing, Eurasia. Last people who went with me to Davos will remember that we had a session in Pakistan called Eurasia. And on that session, we established Gateway Le Havre and Gateway Gwadar. Gateway Le Havre is a port in France, and Gateway Gwadar, because we told the World Economic Forum there's no way India is going to allow us, thank God, across India into South Asia, so that by default makes us a gateway. So let's exploit that. And so they said, yes, you are a part of Eurasia. And because we are part of Eurasia, because we are crossroads as such. We are part of South Asia, they cannot deny us, part of Central Asia, they cannot deny us, part of Middle East. So we are today, but what we do is, even though one of the greatest things that happened to us is the Chinese-Pakistan Economic Corridor, we forget the North-South corridor that General Rao has just talked about. The North-South corridor that takes us into Europe, not through Central Asia alone, through Europe. And what is there? The RCD highway already exists. It's just a question of making it better. If you have, look at it, you will have the iron ore at Reykjavik, the copper and gold ore at Reykjavik. You'll have to bring it down to a smelter plant in Gwadar. Is it going to come by road? You'll have to put a railway line in. So why don't you make the Taftan-Chaman railway line, improve that railway line and make up from Gwadar to Ahmedabad a connection so that your ore can come down and that gateway Gwadar can take you into Central Asia, right? To Iran, to Afghanistan and beyond. So there are a lot of things that can be done. What is this country? Second largest copper and gold reserves in the world. Third largest coal reserves in the world. Fourth largest cotton, and if you look at it, cotton and cotton industry, fourth largest in the world. Fifth largest, and don't smile at it, fifth largest milk producing country in the world. Sixth largest rice producing country in the world. Seventh largest wheat producing country in the world. We have the technology for missiles, we have the means to deliver them also, the nuclear technology, all that we have with us, and it exists today. So, my point is very simple. We have everything. Above all, we have a very talented young youth that can be exploited. If we give them the right education, we give them the right motivation, and we look after them. You have to that thing. We've heard people come here, talk about investment into Pakistan, how much they're willing to bring into Pakistan, how much they've already invested into Pakistan, how much time they're willing to give to Pakistan, right? Do we want to tie them up in red tape? Do we want to be bureaucratic about it? Right? So we have to think these out and how to cut across these problems that demoralizes and gives disincentive to people who want to invest in Pakistan. Let me tell you that Pakistan has a great, great future. I have no doubt about it. I have no doubt about it because when I look at the youth that in my own group, I see them really, really bringing something to the table that is not really, other people would not be able to do in other countries. If you compare us in the IT industry only, if we've not been able to exploit the IT industry to the extent that we could have, right? So, whether it is the IT industry, whether it's the cotton industry, whether it's coal, whether it's minerals, whether it's copper, whether it's gold, right? Just think. Let me tell you, I'm sure not many people of you have heard of Gorakh Hills. In Gorakh Hills, there is a place in Sindh where it snows, in the mountains. It's a hill resort in Sindh. Then, why haven't we ever thought about a railway line from Islamabad to Muzaffarabad through the tunnels so that we can really bring in new tourist spots? So, what we have to do is to give work to the people here. And let me just say, I'm sorry that the finance minister is not here, but I would have told her one thing. One of the biggest disincentives to business is these high interest rates. We only survived during the pandemic because they brought the interest rates down. Because they brought it down, the business survived. So let me tell you, in this doom and gloom, I was looking at yesterday the profits of the banks. There were 8 banks that declared an average of 840 billion rupees profit in the quarter. 40 billion rupees in the quarter, right? 8 banks, leading 8 banks. Only out of all the banks, only 2 banks were without that margin of profit. Almost every bank was without. Every bank is doing well. So I may ask you, if all these banks are doing well, why is the economy doing badly? So let's find out what really runs the economy. Keep the price of fuel down. Keep the price of energy down, and you will be able to run the economy. You have to find a solution to that. But above all, believe in your own potential. Believe in your own youth. Believe in things that exist but have not been used. You know, every day I'm past 77 now. Every day that I get up in the morning, I say one thing: Pakistan, thank you for being my country. Thank you.